Let's just get the slide to go, excuse me, there we go. So first thing to say, just so you're aware, is that this will be recorded. So recording and transcription have started now. As with these Teams meetings, usually if you can, if you're not talking, if you keep your camera off and if you keep your microphone muted, obviously there'll be an opportunity for questions both in this main session and in the breakout session later on, and obviously cameras go on and microphones go on at that stage there, but if you can keep muted, otherwise that'd be great, just so we don't get any background noise or echoes or anything like that. Just in terms of the purpose of the event, there's two reasons for these technology engagement meetings. The first is to try and publicise and to raise awareness of this project generally, so the Social Care Innovation Programme. Raising awareness of it, giving people an insight into what we're trying to achieve, and also looking at how we can get involved. And to that end, Dorothy and Vicky from East Riding of Yorkshire, who are the project leads, will be giving an overview of SCIP and how to get involved and some of the do's and don'ts later on. Now, I'm conscious that some of you may have attended last week's session as well, so that will feel very familiar because it's consolidating and going over some of those key points again. But for those of you who haven't been to one of these events before, they'll give you a really useful insight into what SCIP is and what the SCIP grant application process is as well. So that will be the first thing I'll hand over to in a moment. Then we'll have a panel discussion with those technology and service providers who have kindly joined us this afternoon. So we've got 5 organisations here, and each of those in turn will give you a quick overview of their organisation, of the products and service that they provide, some of the benefits it can provide to organisations in social care. So that links back to really the second key element of this event, which is showcasing what's out there, giving you an idea as care providers as to what technologies, services, products are out there that can really help with your organisational delivery and help enhance the quality of the care that you provide. So that panel discussion will take us through to about 20 to 3, something like that, and you'll have an overview by then of those 5 organisations and the services they provide. Then we've got around 10 minutes or so for questions and answers. And that can be about anything that you're interested in relation to the project itself. So it might be you've got a particular query about how you get involved or how the grant application process works, and Dorothy and Vicky will be on that question and answer panel to be able to deal with any of those questions. It might be about a specific product that you heard about during the panel discussion, or it could just be a general question about technology and how technology is being used. And if you've got any questions, then you can put them in the chat function, and somebody will be keeping an eye on the chat function. When we get to actually the questions point, if you want to put your hand up in Teams, you can absolutely do that. And again, we'll be monitoring that to make sure that we get round to you. Or if you're struggling to make yourself heard, just switch your camera on, switch your mic on, and just shout if need be, to make sure that you can get that question answered as well. So there's the opportunity then for about 10 minutes for any questions and answers. And as I say, there'll be a panel there made up of the technology providers, the service providers, and colleagues from East Riding of Yorkshire and myself as well, from a university perspective. And then the final part of the afternoon is the actual demonstration of individual products. And you should, when you registered for the event, have decided or been asked to decide which of those demonstrations you want to go to, and you should have been sent a link to that. So when we get through the panel discussion and the Q&A, you should be in a position there where I'll let you know that those breakout rooms are then live, and you can click on the meeting invite you got for session 2, and that will take you to that breakout room. We'll also make sure that the links are in the chat, so if you can't find the invite you were given for session 2, then you can click on a particular link as well. And by doing that, you don't need to leave this meeting. As soon as you click on that link, you'll be taken directly to the breakout room and just be put on hold for this meeting room. If anything goes wrong, if you can't find that link, find that invite, this main meeting room will stay open. There'll be somebody there as well to help out. And I'll reiterate and reinforce this right at the end as well. So that demonstration of products will be the opportunity for one of the organisations that you're in that room with to give a detailed demonstration of their particular product, any questions that you might have. And then the final thing to say is, obviously it might well be that you want to see more than one demonstration or see all the demonstrations, but you can only be in one place at a time. So all the demonstrations again will be recorded. So if you go and watch one of the demonstrations, the other 4 will be recorded and they'll be made available to you to watch at a later date as well. So that's the way that the afternoon should work. I hope you find it useful. I hope you find it engaging. I hope you find it interesting. First thing I'm going to do is hand over to Dorothy and to Vicky from East Riding of Yorkshire Council, who are going to give an overview of SCIP and the SCIP grant application process. Dorothy.
Thank you very much, David. So my name is Dorothy Montgomery, and I'm the Programme Manager for the Social Care Innovation Programme, which is led by the East Riding of Yorkshire Council, working with the University of Hull. I think I probably know most of you, but really pleased that you've managed to join us today. And thank you very much for giving us your time so that we can tell you a little bit more about what products we've been looking at and how the SCIP programme is working forward and how it can support you as a care provider. So the focus of the SCIP project is to research gaps in the care sector, which could be supported through use of technology. And these gaps are being researched by the University of Hull, and they have identified a number of gaps and have therefore spoken with different technology providers who could actually support us and support you in meeting those gaps. And the overall focus is to support you to improve your productivity, improve your quality, and as such, improve your overall sustainability. So the other opportunity for care providers is that SCIP can support and grant funding so that you can purchase technology to meet those needs that have been identified, those gaps that you are identifying through the research with your organisation. Some of you will know that we launched a pilot grant scheme in October, and that was for us to see how the process would work, what worked well, what didn't work so well, and what actually just needed changed. And we learned a lot from that launch, that pilot scheme in October, made quite a few different changes, and we relaunched a full scheme in December. Now, from the scheme in October, we did learn, as I say, quite a number of bits. So what I'm going to hand over to Vicky to do with you now, and Vicky is our team lead, the operational lead for the SCIP project at East Riding. Vicky is going to go through with you some of the do's, some of the don'ts, and some of the musts, because we are a project funded by European Regional Development Fund, so there are some musts that we all have to comply with. So Vicky is going to take you through those so that when you're applying for a grant, you will join us in learning from the errors that we found earlier and hopefully make it a really smooth process. Okay, thanks. So over to you, Vicky. Thank you.
Thanks, Dorothy. So, as Dorothy said, I'll run you through the do's and don'ts of the SCIP project just to make sure that things are as streamlined for yourselves and ourselves as possible. So the first one, do enrol on SCIP. So there are a couple of documents that we will support you to complete. You can contact the SCIP team on the email address and the phone number that I'll drop in the chat in a few minutes. They're very simple forms to do, so nothing to panic about. Do meet with the SCIP team to agree your need. Working in conjunction with the University of Hull, we'll support you to identify the needs of your organisation and will aid you in finding a product that will meet the needs that you have within your company. Products must be compatible with East Riding systems where appropriate. So, for example, some systems used by domiciliary care providers need to be compatible with CM2000. I'm hoping that for those of you in the dom care sector that you are aware of what CM2000 is. If not, again, we'll support you to identify if your product is and support you to identify products that can be. Do complete the grant application form. The application form is designed to be as simple as possible for you to complete, and our team are on hand should you need any support or guidance at any point in the process. Once submit, the grant applications are then scored. It is worth noting that those above 7,400 will need to be discussed at panel, and so a strong argument will be needed. Don't commit with supplies before the grant funding agreement is signed. Once the application is approved, a grant funding agreement will be sent to you. Now, we ask that you don't sign or transfer any funds to the supplier until this agreement is returned to ourselves. You must pay the supplier in full after we've received that signed grant funding agreement. Once that grant funding agreement has been received by us, we'll then arrange for it to transfer the funds to your account via a BACS transfer, and we aim to have that in your account within 2 weeks. So we ask that you do make no payments until that funds are received. Must submit your receipted invoice and defrail evidence. Once you've received the funds, we ask that you make payment within 14 days to the provider. You must submit your receipted invoice and evidence that you've made payment to the supplier within 28 days of receipt of the product. Do work with the university to evaluate the technology. Once the product has been purchased, the University of Hull will be in touch to discuss the evaluation of the product. And do submit a case study. We will invite you to complete a simple case study outlining the benefits achieved and the issues identified. This will usually be within the first 3 to 6 months of the technology implementation. But again, nothing to be worried about. We will support you as much as we can, wherever possible, to make life as easy as it can be for you to get a grant funding for ourselves. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that, Vicky. Thanks for that, Dorothy, as well. So we're going to move on to introduce the panel members now and have that sort of 5-6 minute or so introduction to their organisation, to their product, to the service, and give you an idea of what it is that they provide. And to start with, we're going to have Alex Giddings, who's from the Access Group. So I'll share out his slide in a second and let him introduce himself. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, David. Thank you, everybody on the call. Alex Giddings. A little bit about myself. I started in the sector in '93. So I worked actually on a very different face. I actually was a part of our operational team working for a care home group looking at their technology. And that was a project that lasted about 10 years, and we went into very different remits. We were looking at domiciliary care home software. We were looking at agency software. So we developed software over time and gave me a great insight into kind of some of the operational issues and problems that you could, I suppose, alleviate with technology. As that came to an end, I became more excited by the idea of doing that more and more. So fast forward, 20 years, I've been with the Access Group for about 7 years, almost to the day now. And I work with customers who are primarily domiciliary care focused. However, I have seen a shift, and I work a lot with customers who are moving away from a single service setup. So they may have domiciliary care with aspects of living, maybe supported living and other types of care. So to diversify. So that's been very interesting. My role at Access is effectively to present software and look at issues and problems that they, with its application, can solve. A little bit about Access. The Access Group, established about 27 years ago, has 11 divisions, of which the Health and Social Care division is one. You probably will know of our customers or our products because we do have a fairly wide portfolio. So interestingly, when you mentioned CM2000, Has Technology is a part of the Access Group. We also have WebRoster, Business Manager, and a number of other products that we've acquired over the years. So we have what we would call an end-to-end solution that covers the journey for an employee, the onboarding, the attraction, the screening, the managing of the application process, making sure they're compliant, all the way through to ensuring they're rostered accurately, effectively, that we can pay them. And on the client side, again, the journey from onboarding, inquiry management, rostering, invoicing, care delivery, email, digitization of the care plans, all the way through to making sure that your policies and procedures are up to date. So Access isn't for everybody. I think that's probably an important point to stress, because we do encompass many parts, and we are a complete software solution. So we don't play that well with others, and some of our competitors are very good at providing particular types of solution. We are looking at an end-to-end type solution when we talk to our customers. So that's one of the things that we would discuss when we talk about individual projects. Credibility, long-standing presence in the marketplace. As we've said, we've acquired some best-of-breed software over the last 15 years, largely rostering, invoicing, care compliance, quality. We have some very good numbers that you can review on the slide. Ultimately, what we try and do as a part of our role with the customer is look at three key areas: operational functionality and operational functionality fit. So really, do we have the right product for you? That will involve a series of workshops and review of your current requirements and also your future aspirations. So looking at what your care business is going to be doing over the next 12 months. We look at the implementation, i.e. how you can get from where you are now to a live and receiving return on investment, and also the commercial aspects of that process. So for me, operational, implementation, and commercials will be a part of the due diligence that we complete with any care provider that comes to this platform. Thank you.
That's great, Alex. Exactly 5 minutes, spot on. Thank you very much. That's perfect. So next I can introduce Mike Richards. Mike's from FastRoy, and we talk about real-time care. Mike.
Thank you, David. So just a little bit about FastRoy to begin with. FastRoy are a Finnish company, have been in operation since 2003. We're the market leaders of providing care management software in our native Finland. And we have just over 65% of the both public and private markets in both the residential and domiciliary care sectors. My background is that I was a director of a domiciliary care business just over the border in North Yorkshire, just between York and Selby, for about 10 years. And I've been working for FastRoy for just under 3 years. And I think the position that I'm coming from today is really is that we used an old style system. It was called staff plan in my old job, but really what sort of new tools are out there? A lot of people have been talking about the digitization of social care, but what tools can be used to help make processes more simple or streamlined, and how can the end outcomes be improved upon? So the four things that I've picked out from real-time care are the capacity check function, what we call the daily work management screen, and then the sort of two-way interaction with frontline care workers using the mobile app. So especially at the moment, given the current climate, I know it was always an issue when I worked in domiciliary care, was finding capacity, whether you get an email from someone or a phone call. Can you have care for this person, for mum or for dad or whomever, is how can you do it quickly? And we have this function where you can put in, I want 4 appointments a day. I want each appointment to be within these timeframes. I want it to be in this area. And what it will do is it will then go away and say, these are the times of the appointment. So you could ask for something, say, between 8 and 9:30, and it might come back with 8:45, and it will do that throughout the day. And that operates not really in minutes, it's more like seconds. So you can give quite quick and accurate answers to the people making the referrals over the phone. When those visits are allocated, they're done in an optimized way based on the needs of the business. So that's either from a travel perspective, or it could be for something like continuity of care or start time. And as all appointments are added to the system, it's always done in an optimized way. So you're adding them as in the best place every time you do it. From the daily work management point of view, that's the sort of day-to-day function. We can see all the appointments are taking place, and there's a few tools in there that would have made certainly the lives of my coordinators a lot easier. So there's the travel gaps in between each of the appointments. You can see based on whether they're a car driver or a walker, an indicative distance between 2 appointments and the time it would take them to travel. So you're not expecting someone to walk right from one area into another. And then also those time windows that I talked about from the capacity check, you can see where those are. So if you are having to adjust for sickness, not everyone can remember that this particular person always needs a 7 o'clock appointment for either a medication reason or they might be anxious. And so you can use those windows as a visual clue, and anyone who sees me do the demo can see me doing that. And there's also an alerts panel to the side of that that's giving you a bit more information. Some people might be running behind, or there might have been an incident that's happened, and you can be informed of that. From a mobile app point of view, again, new recruits quite nervous this time of year. Sunday nights, it's getting towards the last call of a shift. They can't find it. Well, we can route to a mapping application on a mobile phone. It's going to take you straight there. Again, without having to go into someone's house and find a care plan folder, they've got those instructions there. They can see what's happened at previous appointments. They can see exactly what they need to do, and they've got an overall view on that as well. There's also a messaging application, so if there's something that they've needed to be updated about, that you can pass information to them, and it'll also let them know if there's been any changes to either the appointments that they've been allocated or any of the tasks have changed. From the point of view of recording, again, people even who've been reluctant to use technology. My own mother is in her 70s. She even uses emojis now for the last few months on messages, which is a little disconcerting. But I think a lot more people are aware of using technology to record things, either typing or even things like speech to text. So you can say in 30 seconds what it might take you 5 minutes to write, and people are getting more used to things like that. You can raise concerns easier. And then from my point of view, whenever it came to looking at auditing or complaints, for paper records, you might have to say, I need a MAR chart bringing back to the office, or a set of like daily comment sheets. Well, you don't have to do that now. It's all indexed and it's all in a digital file. So it makes that process a lot easier. And those are really the 4 things that I've focused on from a home care point of view.
That's great. Thanks ever so much for that, Mike. Really appreciate it. Obviously, there's more, those people going to Mike's demo will be able to get more information there as well. So thank you for that. Next, to introduce themselves and what they do, we have Alistair from OnCare. Alistair.
Hi, hopefully you can hear me okay.
Yes, it's fine.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so you've heard some of the other guys talking, and I was trying to kind of note down while they were talking, how is OnCare different? And I think we come from slightly different routes. So I myself am not originally from a care background. So I started the company when I was challenged in a kind of startup incubator setting to help make social care better. And so I then spent a lot of time shadowing care providers, shadowing care workers, lots of horrible 6, 7 a.m. starts in random parts of the country. I didn't quite know where I was, seeing firsthand just how amazing the work is that you guys do, how difficult it can be, and specifically how much more difficult it can be if the tools aren't there to help you to do it very easily. And I saw all sorts of care workers struggling with bits of paper all over the place and shipping them back and forth between offices, as the last gentleman was saying. Lots of care providers who lived in a sea of filing cabinets rather than an office. And these are some of the things that we thought, hang on a minute, could technology play a part in this and make this better? And then the answer was yes. So then we went to try and figure out, well, there's some technology solutions out there. Where can we play slightly differently? And I think where we've tried to focus as a company is on simplicity. So our target user is actually based off a bloke that we did an early pilot with very, very early on when we were building the company. And our target user is someone on the care worker side who's never owned a smartphone before or downloaded an app before. They should still be able to use the system fine. So we always go through that lens. And again, to the similar commentary, I use often my parents as a bit of a benchmark. If they can figure it out, and my dad is anti-technology, not just bad with it, he's almost anti it, then we know it's going to be simple enough. And the same for the office side. The office staff, people have got, coordinators and managers have got all sorts of things to deal with during the day. This person didn't turn up. This client may have unfortunately passed away, or someone's had a fall, or something's gone on. You need to be quick, responsive, and most of all simple, so you don't just have to, in a sort of panic state, go, oh, where was that thing? What are we looking for? So some of these are screens that you can see that our system has, and I'd be welcome anyone to come along to the demo to learn a little bit more. But we have a scheduling rostering solution of our own that we built from the ground up that integrates directly with our call monitoring system, so care workers know where they're supposed to be, if they're running late, and they get to see how to get to the clients and then learn about the clients. They can read each other's notes. They can leave their own notes. We have medication management built into the system as well. And then you can get all sorts of information and reports out the back of it in terms of the finance tools, care management, just care quality assessments and everything like that. So one of the aspects we focused on, as I mentioned, is simplicity. I think to the point that the gentleman from Access Group was making, we're also probably not for everyone. I think we are focused on kind of helping those small and medium care providers to avoid having to resort to using paper for everything, or using Excel spreadsheets and WhatsApp and everything combined to manage your day-to-day. We're trying to get even a startup care agency to get onto a digital system so everything's run more efficiently and safely in terms of security of data and transparently, than having to use paper from the word go. So yeah, we work well with the small to mediums. We're domiciliary care focused, so we do support some adults with learning disability services, some other sort of live-in and supported living and assisted living type services, but mostly domiciliary care and mostly small medium. I think when we get to the larger providers, that's probably where a company like Access Group or Fast Row might take over better, because there's that depth of features where we focused on how do we give you a really great, simple end-to-end solution for those kind of small and medium providers. And wherever possible, I know care is difficult, but wherever possible to try and make it a little bit fun, because this is still everyone's working day to day. So we've tried to put a few little nuggets of joy in the platform wherever we can, just because it's more interesting for us as well, and for people using us. So yeah, I suppose that's to kind of summarize. We're about simplicity on our platform and our pricing. We probably work best with small and medium dom care providers, and yeah, really looking forward to showing anyone that's interested a bit more about the platform in the demo, or the website is weareoncare.com if you're not able to make it to the demo.
That's great. Thank you, Alistair. Next, we have Judith. Judith, who's from Secure Meters Products. Sorry, I didn't put the full name of the company up there. Secure Meters, and Judith's going to talk about beanbag care. Judith.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. No worries about that. Beanbag Care is part of Secure Meters UK. I'm the Northern Sales Manager. I've been with Secure Meters more than 5 years now. I was initially on our other smart technology and I was asked to move over into Beanbag Care. I actually have personal experience with relatives of dealing with care providers. So I do know from personal experience how hard it is. I also know how hard it is for the person as the relative as well, looking in on it. So hence my interest in moving over onto this side of the work. We are a large global company, so we're a larger SME. We have businesses in UK, Europe, Sweden, India mainly is our manufacturing hub, and we're based in Australia and various other countries, as you see there on the map. Our base is in energy and smart technology, as we call it, Internet of Things. We deal with a lot of cloud-based services, our services across the world. So all the data that we collect on this and all of our other technology will go through the various different servers and is overly secure. Everything is secure. We actually owned at one point one of the larger energy suppliers, and we deliver masses of smart meters. Most people will have one of our gadgets within their home, be it a gas meter, electric meter, a smart meter, etc. On the Beanbag Care, we've implemented the Internet of Things, the smart technology, and moved it over into Beanbag Care. What we're hoping you'll find is that we want to provide a better quality, as we say there in our vision, better quality of care for the person, for the end user. We have divided it into two halves, if you can see there, quality care assured and 24/7. We are aiming this at domestic care providers like yourselves, and also the councils, and also supported living, so that could be private supported living, and also through housing associations. On the one side, the quality care assured does take in scheduling and monitoring. which you may or may not have, and we can integrate with any systems that you already have out there. But the main feature of our Quality Care Assured is, along with the scheduling, monitoring, all your admin aspects of it, as has been mentioned before, rostering up there, etc. The quality care feedback, it actually gets you feedback from the customer themselves. So it could be the older person that's having the care delivered, or what we call their responder, i.e. their family member or whoever they nominate. And that's a unique feature. So you will actually know what they feel, how they feel about the quality of the care that they're receiving from you and your staff, which you then can use for your audits. We feel that that's perhaps as is important as knowing where your staff are, and also getting all your admin things up to date. That is quite a key thing to have in the back pocket there to show how good and outstanding you are on your audits. On the other side of it, you'll see there the 24/7 monitoring is our non-wearable falls. It's all connected by sensors. As I said, we are technology based. We have our own team of software engineers, etc. Non-wearable falls sensors, sleep monitoring sensors, assisted comfort, as we call it, is monitoring the home environment. So it will tell the responder if the temperature in the house has gone too cold for the person living in it. That can be automatically adjusted, and all of this will be shown on our demonstration. Andrew will show you how that can work. The 24/7 monitoring is an element for domiciliary care people, providers, to actually sell on to their end users as a package for health and well-being. The main aspect I'd like you to take from this, and please ask any questions going through, is that it's going to improve the quality of the care that the older person receives, that you deliver. It can also radically reduce your admin costs, and will do. And as I said, it will increase your CQC audit results going forward. So do ask any questions on the demonstration, and we can tell you a little bit more detail there. Thank you, David. I think that's as
great.
Much as
Thanks
I can
so
got
much,
at the moment.
Judith. Thank you for that. And then, last but not least, we have Louise. Louise is going to talk a bit about Umbrella Insight.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Louise.
Thanks very much. Yeah, and lots of great information that's just come through from the others. Basically, Umbrella Insight provide a really simple and easy insight engagement and feedback platform. You can see from so much information on this screen, but trying to get it all out there so you can understand a little bit more about how we can support you. We really want to support you in your challenges. We know there are numerous challenges in the care industry at the moment, and more so from doing things in old methods. So bringing digital in can really help with that. So on the left-hand side here, our platform can support you with recruitment, retention and well-being. We work with the Welsh Government to ensure that we have our platform aligned to a framework that's really engaging, really simple, and it's available across the board, whether you're 5, 105, whether you're tech savvy, and whatever your skills are. We also help with CQC or Care Inspectorate evidencing by gaining feedback from whether you're a staff member or whether you're a client, resident or next of kin. And having that evidence and that information really means that you can see where you are at the moment, where you need to improve, and show also the inspectors that you're actually trying to make sure that you are in line with regulations, and also in trying to improve your business. We also work with other associations such as Slave Free Alliance around whistleblowing, so we can make sure that you can support diversity and inclusion and remove discrimination within the workplace. And we also supply a platform for those with learning difficulties and giving them more independence, again because of the simplicity of our platform. And in the end, as much as everyone else has been saying, we really want to make sure that you save time, money and effort. And that's really the point of digital. But the other side is to make sure that you understand digital isn't a replacement for face-to-face, it's an addition to it. But by making digital also extremely engaging, and you can see that on the center section there, making it even really engaging and very simple to use means that you will be able to gain all of that information and insight to really help benefit your business. We are a web app, so it means that it's all in one place for you. No matter what area you're trying to bring information into you as a care provider in your business, it's available 24/7 on any device, and there's nothing to download, there's no additional software or hardware, and we can have you up and running in minutes. So rather than having long implementation periods, literally it will be available for you the next day if you want it. And we also help you with tracking and trending areas in your business, benchmarking against those. We have alerting facilities to make sure that you have early intervention and you can spot problems and issues before they become worse, and again maybe have long-term sick or have staff leaving your company. And we can also give recommended actions based on that. As mentioned, you don't have anything to download, etc. We provide a portal, so there's one place for all of this information, and you can so no loads of passwords, it's all in one place, and you have a dashboard with all the reporting, but also you just have a button that you can download these really easy reports. One example is here. That's easy for you to understand and pinch points in your business at any time, and again use those for inspections and showing inspectors at any point. We can also provide evidences for support plans, and we are a UK-based company. Our data is held in the UK, and we're fully GDPR compliant and cyber essential security accredited. So what we do with our system is really give worker voice and client voice, and this is 24/7. So as a worker may be leaving work, they're off shift, they remember something, they can use our system to be able to tell you immediately what's on their mind. They don't have to wait for the next shift. If they're not as confident in bringing up concerns, then they can use our service, bring those up, and there's no confrontation or any requirement to spend 10-15 minutes. Again, it's so simple that it can take seconds to get this feedback in. And from a client voice perspective, again, no matter what age, what skill level, it's really easy again to gain that essential insight to really help you understand what's working well in your business, where there can be improvements. And it's not all about negatives. It's also a system where you can raise concerns, but give suggestions, you can praise staff or other individuals, and you can also ask for assistance through the devices or through the platform as well. And in the end, what we're trying to do is take or help you with all of the challenges, but not have to have a lot of digital or a lot of extra software, hardware, or education in these areas. And so you get, and through having such a simple front end, it means that you gain greater staff and client engagement, and you save money and time, whether you're paper-based or using some of the more conventional methods, and you get happier employees and clients because you're able to work in the moment with the alerting facility, and also understanding what they might be little things, but by tweaking them and making them better, you make everyone a lot happier. So again, happier employees and clients, which leads to an outcome of greater retention and loyalty. And where everyone's happy, they obviously will also refer you. So there's lots of ways to use the system. It's all in one place, and in the end what we want to do is make sure that we provide you with a digital platform that helps you make better decisions going forward. You know what additional support you may need to have to provide, and you know areas where you need to improve to continue success and growth within the business.
That's great. Thanks, Louise. Thank you for that. Can I ask then, I'm going to stop sharing my screen briefly, and if I can ask that Alex and Mike and Alistair and Judith and Louise and Dorothy and Vicky maybe want to turn their cameras on as part of the sort of question and answer panel, just in case there's any particular questions. And if anybody's got any queries at all.